of their tenure. And here we go. Nick Slight gets things started in the 1,000 assist year for him last year. Gianni doing what he's been doing for the last 3 years. 1-0 Lopes here to start things off.
The arena able to sit down pretty early on. Didn't have to stand for too long in that beginning as the Lopes score their first point of the game.
Get used to the name Jack Palmer. He had a fantastic dig there to start off tonight's matchup. That was something Cole Udall did so well throughout his career here. He was here hanging the NCAA tournament bid banner alongside BK Obi before this thing kicked off. But Palmer's filling those shoes well. He's going to have to. He's got some height, standing at about 6'7". Cooper Herndon with an early check-in. Gianni. Ball far side. A.J. Lewis into the block of Jackson Hickman and out. 2-1. Lindenwood takes an early lead over the Antelopes.
Just a minute 15 in, and we're already talking about A.J. Lewis. He was a strong outside hitter and one from the Lindenwood Lions that we're going to be talking about probably throughout the rest of this evening.
Miscue already there from the Antelopes. That one's up off of an awkward service, and 3-1.
We talked about that chemistry in those keys early on with Cooper Herndon being in that new libero position. Just kind of evidence of that, you know, honing that in early on in this game.
Gianni, little roll shot over the block and down. 3-2 now. That last ball of the net was sent down by Rashawn Bonner, the grad student out of LaGrange Park, Illinois. He played at Lions Township High, and now he's a Lion at Lindenwood, sticking with that mascot. Who knows, maybe he went to an elementary school as well that had the Lions as their mascot. He likes the Lions. Bonner right on cue.
Hickman going in for that dive to try to save that ball, which actually earlier in this season, he went and ran into the stands and actually jumped into the bench. The point was overturned, unfortunately, but he gives it all, and that's something about this Lopes team that they're all out, they're all in.
Palmer. Side ball set down to the back corner. Well done that time from Carter Stenmark. Want to make a correction as well. Those last couple balls were down by Caden Warner. That's the 6'8" middle blocker who you've been seeing putting work early out of North Las Vegas, Nevada, out of Bonanza. Sean Bonner, no doubt, make an appearance later in tonight's match, but A.J. Lewis, who has torched the Lopes the last couple of seasons when he enters this arena. Up to serve. Up and down, Caden Warner. Well, we want to make sure we get his name right because he's putting in work here early. He's already got 2 kills and a block. He's got some size up against a shorter middle blocker in Cameron Thorne. 6'2" Lions. Everyone pretty much came into this game with an expectation that the Lopes were going to be dominant, but so far the Lions are showing, hey, we're here to play. And a service ace. What a serve that is from A.J. Lewis. That ball absolutely died in the air. It looked like it was heading for the WAC logo and instead dips right over the net, lands in that 4 spot. Beautiful shot from A.J. Lewis, and we're 7-2 early timeout here for the Antelopes. They got to figure things out back in their home opener. Not the start that they would have wanted. And with that, we will send it to a quick break and be right back here with more of your first set action. 7-2, Lindenwood up here early.
Feeling uneasy about your financial future? You need a partner that helps lighten the load. Welcome to Global Credit Union. It means early payday, your paycheck up to 3 days early with direct deposit, accounts with no NSF fees, and a mobile app with tools to help you manage your family budget. At Global, we take member care seriously, with branches near you and a 24/7 US-based call center staffed by real people. Join us at Global Credit Union.
The future looks good.
A.J. Lewis, after a service ace, back to serve once more. Looks to keep this early momentum going. Too much on that one. He was hoping to paint the tape on the back corner, but could not. Wardlow will check in now. Cooper Herndon in that lone perp jersey will head out. 7-3 now. Cameron Thorne heads back to serve. Floater right at Lewis. Set goes far side. Cameron Thorne handles that one well. Gianni up and down. And there's back-to-back out of the timeout. Both Tim Nolan on the women's side for GCU and Matt Worley here on the men's are very good out of timeouts, drawing up plays and positionings in order to get some points. And that quickly swings us to just a 3-point deficit for the Lopes. Sheehan goes to Warner. Up and down, good job. And I tell you what, the one thing I've noticed early about this Lions squad is they are playing with a lot of power, a lot of fire and aggression. Almost every single point they've had here early, they are staring down the Antelopes, often yelling at the net saying, hey, we're here to play, we're here to make our presence felt. You almost wonder too, these are teams that know each other. They played twice last season, they'll play twice in this weekend. The Lions really want to get the job done here. It'd be a tough upset, but they're hoping to do it. Up and down for Palmer. His first kill of the night. Gianni now back to serve. He leads the team in service aces to start off this year, averaging 3 a game. Power on that one. It's an impressive serve, but it's even more of an impressive dig, the fact that A.J. Lewis found any way to keep that ball alive. Up and down. There's Rashawn Bonner. I wanted to give him some credit earlier for the work that Caden Warner was putting in. Instead, he says, oh, don't worry, I'm here too. 9-5 now to the Lions. Stenmark to serve. Good dig from Hickman. Slight. Palmer off the block. 3 Lions there roaring. Slight far side. Back row from Gianni. Well done. 9-6. Lead cut to 3 once more. Palmer now back to serve once more. Perfect angle from Gianni there. We've been seeing that so much the past couple of seasons. No Christian Janke, so what can Jack Palmer do in his new role? Sheehan, back row, Lewis, good dig there from Herndon. Slight, looking to go to Hickman. Right into the block and down. Rashawn Bonner says no. Return to sender from the black and gold. 10-6 now. Lions still playing well to start this first set.
Play leader to serve.
Slight. Hickman can't get that one either. Slight up and down to Wardlow. Well done from number 23, showing off that athleticism. Rico Wardlow had quite the season last year. Comes in as a transfer, or part of a team that already had a lot of chemistry. Oftentimes that can divide a team when you throw a new guy into the locker room. It did the exact opposite. Wardlow named an ADCA All-American and ended up 191 kills and a program record hitting percentage of a ridiculous .536. Hickman sends that one down. 10-8, Lopes cut it just to 2. And this first set's really important, especially for a weekend where you're trying to set the tone. If you can find a way to turn things around in this first set where you haven't looked as good as you'd hoped, then possibly you move that momentum into sets 2 and 3 and get out of here in a sweep. Wardlow. Good serve. Sheehan, far side. Lewis just pokes it over. That's perfect technique. There's not a lot of players in the country that can make that play. This guy up there, he's just gliding in the air there, Bella.
He truly got some air on that one, and I think that there might have been even a slight miscue with the setter and Lewis on that one, but he adjusted to it and was able to kind of sort of just dink it over and do what he could in that position.
Sean Bonner with a service error there. Second of our night. First for the Lions, 11-9 now. Slight rocking that number 7. 1,000 assists last year for Nick Slight. 1,018 to be exact. Warner. Yeah, I tell you what, I think Nick Slight touched that ball. It looked like there was a direction. You even see Nick Slight walking away looking like, I might have touched that. And they do. The down ref calls off the up rev, and Seth Slight definitely touched that. Yeah, it did hit his outside finger. You see us put his hand up, trying to pull up some trickery and say, no, I didn't hit that. But good job from the officiating crew to pull things together. Slight, well done to Herndon. Sheehan, back row, into the block of Cameron Thorne and down. 13-9, 4-point lead now. And if Lindenwood, we looked at it from the other perspective, but if you're Lindenwood and you come in with as much power and fire under their feet as they have, and you find a way to win this first set, it puts some pressure on the Lopes to say, hey, we got to find a way to get the job done.
Absolutely, and honestly, you know, you think about, this is a D1 level, you know, it's anybody's game on any given day. And so it's important that no matter how many accolades you go into a game, that you continue to play the game that you're handed and to do it well.
Gianni, well done that time to get there. Blocked into the net. Gianni and Thorne combine for an absolute block party. 13-10. Hickman with the serve. Sheehan up and down. What a dig that is from Hickman, and then right back to him, and it's into the net. And he claps his hands together in frustration. He really wanted that one for the highlight reel.
A.J. Lewis to serve.
A.J. Lewis back on the serve where he previously had an unexpected ace that just devastated the Lopes. Can he do it again?
Palmer picks up his third kill of the night, 14-11 now. It's just kind of teetering back and forth between 2 to 4 points. Lions holding on to the lead. Sheehan near side ball. Almost kept up off the elbow of Nick Slight. Caden Warner. 4 is the biggest lead of the night. They've had it a couple of times throughout this first set. It's 15-11 right now. Warner right at Palmer. Gianni out. 16-11. 5-point early advantage, and the Lions are playing with a lot of fun right now. A lot of smiles on their faces. The energy right now in the arena has kind of just been taken out, the breath out of the lungs of the Lopes as it's an early deficit. Warner with a miscue. 16-12 now. Gianni with one heck of a serve that is controlled by a nice dig. Back row attack, Hickman. Is it in? It is, paints the tape. You can see right now the urgency is apparent. The Lopes got to get going if they don't want to fall down a set. 16-13. Gianni to serve once more. Different style of serve, different result. Sheehan near side ball. Out, and there's no touch. So it's 3 straight points for the Antelopes to push it to 16-14. Gianni back to serve, leads the kill category for both sides with 4, hitting a point. 4-2-9, good start to the match for him, and a great serve, controlled again. Gianni with a good dig. A chance here to cut it to 1 for the Antelopes. To Gianni. Beautiful ball, kept alive How in the world? Need a replay on that. Still alive off the block. Weeder back to him once more. Off of Gianni and down. That is the biggest point of the first set. All the momentum swinging the way of the purple and white, and instead the black and gold grabs it back, puts it on their side. They went to Weeder once and it didn't work out. They went back to him, trusted their guy, and it worked out. And now the Lopes find a way to get this one. We're right back to 2. Into the net. 17-15. There's a sigh of relief from the left side of the court for the Lopes. Jack Palmer now. Far side ball, tipped off the block. Slight keeps it up, Wardlow. Hickman off the block, Lewis again. Sheehan, far side ball, tipped off. Slight, Palmer into the net and down, and Hickman is in a lot of pain right now, which is the last thing you need to see early in your season, a player who was excellent last year. Looks like he rolled his ankle, and there's some frustration. I think he thinks he might have landed on the foot of a Lion. Looked like he was a little frustrated with the officiating crew for not calling anything. There's a chance he just rolled his ankle. Hopefully we can get a replay to check out exactly, maybe even on that wide shot, we might be able to tell what happened to the, what looks like left angle of Jackson Hickman. Here it comes. So that's towards the end of the play. This happened right on that first serving attack. We'll go back to it here in a second. The service into the net. Lopes catch another break.
We've seen a number of service errors here on the Lindenwood side. But let's look at this replay.
Here's a chance to look at it again.
Oh.
And he maybe even the knee as opposed to the ankle. He looks like he kind of just hyperextends it. Won't have a great shot at it. Wardlow into the net and down. It's just the second service error of the night for the Antelopes. Well, there's a frustration brewing for Matt Worley and his coaching staff because the Lopes are down 3 and 5 of their points have come off of Lindenwood errors. Got to find a way to get somebody going here. Too much savvy play from Herndon to just let it go over his head. 19-17. Nick Slight now heads back behind the line. The Lopes have just been creeping closer and closer and closer. They can find a way to tie things up or even just cut it to 1. Be really big. Sheehan, Warner. The Lions just keep having an answer for every question that the Lopes are asking. 2017 now.
The Lions are being very aggressive in this first set, and the Lopes are really looking like they're trying to adjust to a lot of it rather than being aggressive themselves.
Lewis into the block. That's a big block. It's Hickman, Thorne, and Gianni are all there, and not a whole lot of times are you going to get that over there. Carter Rogers now checks in. He had a lot to say about the beginning of this season a couple of days ago. He said the start of the season is always an exciting time. We got 21 guys that are bought in and have been working hard for the last 4 months of preseason. Tip off the net. Sheehan. Up and down. 3-point lead back to the Lions. Rogers out, Hickman in. Well, this is the moment where you got to have some dogs on your team. When I talked to Carter Rogers about this season and this team, he said 3 different times he used the word dog. He said, we've got dogs on this squad. And this is a moment where you have to find a way to claw and scratch your way back into this first set, because this one hurts if you don't win it. Too much from Lewis. That thing is coming incredibly fast. I don't even know how you deal with that if you're on that back row.
I mean, you blink and it's already on the opposite side of the court.
Jordan Lucas checks in. Not a whole lot of players across the country play with more pizzazz and excitement as Jordan Lucas And there's a reason that he gets cheers and claps across the stadium when he checks in. Too much on that one, though, from Carter Stenmark. So both Lucas and Rogers have checked in, not had success with their timeout. But they also get a point out of it, and it's 22-20 after the Charlie Pagordny service error. Gianni in a big moment here, 22-20. Whoa, man. I mean, typically I can tell whether or not a ball is in or out. That one comes so fast. It's like, how do you even deal with that? And as a official, calling men's volleyball has to be one of the most difficult things in the world. Herndon, after that ball, had some dip on it. Wardlow, up and down, somehow alive. Bonner throws it over. Lopes with a free ball. Back row of Hickman, up and down. Maybe that'll get him going. He's hitting in the negatives right now. 2 blocks and 2 digs, though. He's playing well defensively. Just got to find a way to get him going on the offensive end. Jack Palmer into the net. Set point for the Lions. You look towards the end of the season, rankings, placements, all types of things, and losing sets hurts when you're trying to get placed into certain categories for things. And this would certainly hurt the Lopes right now. Herndon. Slight. Hickman up and down. 24-22. And if, at this point, if you're the Lopes, you're not even fighting to win the set. You're just fighting to get to 24. Find a way to move to extra points, and then you figure it out from there. Wardlow isn't the power server that the Lopes maybe want right now, but he's conservative and he serves well. Good little roll serve. Did that get down? Maybe it did. Lewis over. Big chance for the Lopes here on a free ball. Slight. Hickman. Oh my goodness, it almost hits the up rep in the head. But somehow the Lopes have cut it to just 1, and I would not be surprised if we see a timeout here from the black and gold. And head coach Joe Koschev. Instead, he's going to trust his team, trust the players out on the floor. 24-23, Wardlow. Sheehan. And it's perfect. It's perfect execution from Rashawn Bonner. The block just isn't there from the Antelopes. And the first set goes to the Lindenwood Lions, 25. They can to turn things around in this second set and get back to the expectations that they hope to be an NCAA tournament team come April. Thorne, that's a good way to start things off. 1-0 to start things off in this second set, and everybody can sit down. Thorne, after a big kill there, heads back to serve for the Antelopes. That one right at Clay Weedle, and then up and down that time from A.J. Lewis. Gianni and Hickman led the way in that first set for the Lopes with 4 kills each. Caden Warner was a dominant force that the Lopes could not control, with 6 kills, hitting a .857, only missed 1 attack. Slight up to Wardlow and down. You'd like to see this second set, if you're an Antelopes fan, you'd love for them to come out and just put together a 25-10, 11-12 type score. We've seen it from in the past from GCU, but you're playing a Lindenwood team that didn't get a whole much publicity to start the season, wasn't in the top 15, 20, anything like that in the coaches or media poll. But they feel like they've got a lot to prove tonight, and they've proved it so far. Slight, still alive. Service net, I believe, on Caden Warner. 3-1 now. The Lopes 2-point early advantage.
Yeah, Houston, we talk about team chemistry as well. You can just see from the Lindenwood, I mean, when you're in an arena full of people cheering on for the Lopes, you either, you know, find it in yourself to fight even more, to just prove all of the the boos or the ahs in while you're playing, and you play a better game.
Ball over. Slight far side ball to Palmer. That one rides the net all the way down, 3-2 now. Sheehan, the setter, back to serve now. Picked up 15 assists in that first set to Nick Slight's 12. It's tough to out-set and out-assist Nick Slight in pretty much anything you do. Sheehan, oh my goodness. Nick Slight with a play you don't see a whole lot. That ball's right on the top of the net, and Nick Slight steps up and just says, no thank you. He saw that Caden Warner alongside AJ Lewis, nobody was in position there, so he just stepped up, put it right back down on the C at that midcourt logo. Palmer to serve. Tip off the net. Far side ball to Lewis. That one's into the third or fourth row of the stands after it's hit into the block. Lewis back to serve now, and everyone kind of holds your breath when AJ Lewis goes back to serve. A hush typically falls over the crowd, and he shows us all what he's capable of. That one right at Herndon. Slight. Gianni up and down. Well done. I think AJ Lewis and Carter Rogers have a little friendly rivalry going of who can throw the ball higher on their serve. I swear Carter's nearly hit the rafters every time he throws it up in the air. But to have, I mean, it increases your margin of error by like 1,000%. The fact that he can time it perfectly like that is one of the most impressive things I've seen in all of sports. Sheehan. That one off of the face of Rico Wardlow, wasn't quite ready for it. Carter Stenmark sneaks it through the wall. 5-4 now. Actually went off the shoulder of Wardlow, so no harm done.
Just a slight bruise. Might be feeling that one tomorrow.
He'll be all right. He's a big guy. Warner, his second service error of the night, punches the ground in frustration. Hickman kept alive somehow, and then Gianni sends it down. 7-4 now to the Antelopes. Their biggest lead of the night is just 3, which is not something you usually say. You typically put GCU and biggest lead of the night in the same sentence. You're talking about 9 or 10 points. Step too close to the net, did Rashawn Bonner. Nick Slight now 8-4. So with Slight, Palmer, Herndon, Hickman, Gianni, and Thorne, the 6 for GCU. Sheehan, Bonner, Herndon. Slight goes right up to Cameron Thorne, who sends it down. And in that first set, a lot of talking was done by Lindenwood. They let the Antelopes know, I should say, that they were here. And GCU now saying, hey, this is our home arena. This is where we shine brightest. And right now they are certainly showing that. 9-4. As we get ready to head to another break. Welcome back to the newly named Global Credit Union Arena as Nick Slight gets things going once more. I went off the awaiting hands of Slight. Lopes cooking something in the pot here in this second set. They were not. It was all cooking on the other side of the black and gold in that first set. But Lopes now looking a little bit better. This team returns many of that core unit that lost to UCLA in the MPSF tourney last year. Service error that time from the Lions. That was a team that both went on to win the MPSF, did the Bruins, and then the whole darn thing too. The Bruins now have 20 NCAA championships, the last one on May 6th of last year. That championship ended a 17-year NCAA championship drought. Beautiful pancake from Slight, far side. Palmer kept alive. Weeder. Slight. Cameron Thorne scoops it over. And now there's a conversation being had between the up ref and down ref. And a replay is now coming. You don't see that. Not a replay on the screen, folks. A replay in the game. You don't see that too often. That's that ping pong match with your brother in the basement where you can't decide if it was a lead or not, and you just decide to play it again for fun. So after the replay of that point, Lindenwood picks up another 6-10 now. Chemistry is a lot of what these GCU players talk about when they talk about their team. It's not about the individual awards, although those are plentiful with the Lopes. Tip off the net. Slight. Palmer up and down, well done, 11-6. The score moves. But it's about the chemistry of the team. Jordan Lucas, a player who had a major role last year and has kind of been pushed to the bench a little bit to start the season, more in a service role as opposed to being a libero out there. Good dig there from Slight. And now to Palmer, kept alive again. Back row from Lewis. Longest rally of the night, Slight. Slide ball to Gianni, what a dig that is! Lewis sends it over. Hickman to Slight. Back to Hickman from the back row. You cannot deny Jackson Hickman when he gets a head start like that. 12-6 set down.
I mean, Hickman just explodes with power from that back row. And that is what really sets GCU apart in this moment, is just the power that comes from those hits.
Thorne. Perfect positioning from Cameron Thorne. That's just a veteran play. And that one's tipped off the block and goes down, 13-6. We were talking about Jordan Lucas, though, and how his role has changed, but that's not necessarily what matters to these players. They want to be on the court playing. They're NCAA Division I MPSF volleyball players. Obviously, they want to be on the court, but he says our chemistry as a team is good. We're still trying to figure out a couple kinks, but that comes with any team this early in the season. Perfect dig from Slight. Thorne, far side ball, Gianni. Lopes looking to extend their lead to 8. And it finds the back corner. The Lopes are not sure about that one. But regardless, not going to use a challenge in this moment, 7-13. Jordan finished off by saying, nonetheless, our team is a veteran group of guys, and we're looking to make it back to the NCAA tournament this year. 3-0 to start the year. Down a set here in Phoenix. Bonner. Slight to Gianni. Hoping to get hit involved, and that one was weird. You see Gianni hit the ball, it hits the block, goes out of bounds. Pretty much nothing happens in the crowd. I mean, everyone was like, yeah, we're just used to that. We're used to seeing Camden Gianni going up and making stud plays, as he does so often. Gianni with a big serve and a service ace, his first of the night. And oh my goodness, Camden Gianni is now throwing some smack back in the other direction. Oh, you gotta love it.
I mean, I've been told the best way to play your game against any kind of talk is to do something that they can't talk about.
Aces, and I would not be surprised if he gets a hat trick right here. Gianni, tip off the net. Sheehan, near side ball, Lewis. The Lions say, hey, GCU, you guys are pretty good out of timeouts. Well, we'll show you we can do the exact same thing. 16-8, the lead remains. Lopes have doubled the score of the Lions to start this second set off, looking more like the Lopes of old. Slight. Back row from Hickman. What a block that is, and A.J. Lewis now staring down Jackson Hickman. There's a lot of tension on this. I mean, you can cut the tension with a knife in this arena here.
I mean, it's a passionate game. You are playing to win, and these are competitive people on the court today.
Gianni with a little roll shot, and it's beautifully defended. And Wardlow just tries to poke it over, but another free ball. And Lewis, too much on that one. They're looking for a tip, and they will get it. GCU doesn't think so, but there's not a whole lot of complaints from the circle. So they are going to just let that one ride. Three in a row for the Lions. Slight looking to make something happen. Off the block from Wardlow, 17-10. Seventh in the preseason ranking was GCU. That's their highest ever. Through 1 week and 3 wins, they are now 6th in the coaches poll, 4th in the media poll. Looking to repeat that 22-8 success, their best record ever. Lewis, Gianni's in a good spot. Slight points to where he wants Gianni to go. Gianni listens, and Gianni delivers. 18-10.
I mean, we've been talking about Camden Gianni. Mentioned his name multiple times in the last 3 minutes. He is an offensive powerhouse. And he's also leading. You know, you lead by example, and him setting the tone right now is infecting the rest of the team to reel it in, pull it in. Okay, we had that first set. Now it's second set, and it's time to show them whose arena they're in right now.
Jackson Hickman with a good play right there. 19-10 now. I love those plays on this Antelope squad. We've seen it a couple times from the Lions as well, where the ball passes across the net, and the Lopes say, I'm not going to get fancy here. I'm not going to get tricky, do anything else I need to do. I'm just going to send it over to the other side. At the end of the day, the objective of this silly little game is to hit the ball on the other side and have it land inside a square. And at certain times, you don't have to overthink it. If you're above the net, you might as well just take your opportunity when you have it.
Absolutely, and it goes to show the game knowledge of these players as well, to be able to adjust to those balls and to ultimately earn the point, whichever way they can.
Lewis into the net, 22-11 now. Jordan Lucas, for the second time tonight, will check in. Double two to serve. Right at A.J. Lewis. Our side ball out. So Jordan Lucas will get his third chance to serve tonight. If you can't tell, Jordan Lucas likes playing volleyball. I mean, there is not another player in the country who plays with more fun and has a smile on his face more than Jordan Lucas. Ball up and down from Caden Warner, but Jordan backs it up too. I mean, he has been a fantastic player. He's got highlight reels across the board for this sport. And it's such a luxury to have a player like that who has so much experience playing a consistent amount of time on the court to now come in, be a backup, and be able to bring that power from the second unit. It's huge. Oh my goodness. I'm sorry, did that ball go through the legs of a Lindenwood Lion? Cameron Thorne.
So much power, so much precision. I mean, I would not want to be the one blocking that ball right there.
Making Connor Sheehan look silly is Cameron Thorne. Sheehan not laughing for too long as he sends a ball that almost lands in that back corner, but tell you what, Jack Palmer dove for it, and then I think made a last-second business decision and decided, okay, I'm not gonna touch this one, and it worked out pretty well. That went up and down, well done. That time from Weeder. Service now coming from Stenmark into the net, 24-13.
I mean, you look at the score, Houston. Now is not the time for service errors on the Lindenwood side. 1 point away for the Lopes as Hickman serves.
Up and down from Palmer, well done. 25-13 for the Antelopes, and they do a good job of claiming this second set and bouncing back after a rough first set. All right, we will take a quick break and be right back here with set 3 action. Lopes looking better.
Into the third set of the game. The first one, the Lions squeaked one by on the Lopes side, but the second, the Lopes devastated the Lions. So interested to see how both teams sort of adjust.
Tell you what a dig that is from Cooper Herndon, filling in that role for Cole Udall after he graduated this past season. And then both Herndon and Slight, you'd love to see the hustle to get on that and try and pancake that ball, but can't quite do it. But Herndon is going to have to be making those plays all season long. Ball in the net, Lopes catch an early break.
Great job, Lopes fans. Every set, every night. Cameron Thorne to serve.
Cameron Thorne back to serve. Thorne looking right at back corner, controlled by Hickman. Hickman up and down, well done.
I mean, that ball just slides between Weeder's hands on that one. Such a wonderful play by Hickman.
Thorne an identical serve right at Weeder. Too much and no touch. So we will have our first green card challenge of the night. Head coach Joe Koscheff says, I don't think so on that one. He is going to challenge this and see if there was a tip at the net. Lopes looks pretty confident, or maybe just their poker face is pretty good, who knows. Might have a chance to look at this here in a second. Gives us a second to look at these stats. Camden Gianni with 9 kills, hitting .471, a great campaign to start off 2024. 5 digs as well. AJ Lewis leading the way for the Lions. Here is this. Maybe roll it back one more time. It looks like if it's anybody, it's Wardlow up at the top of the net. Get it coming real slow here.
Watch any fingers.
Maybe Gianni, that left hand. Yeah, I do think I see some movement on that pinky and ring finger of Camden Gianni. It's a great work by our camera crew in the Global Credit Union Arena. Scores 3-1, but it could be 2-2 if this goes the way of Lindenwood.
I just love volleyball. I think that it's crazy that even just a pinky touch on the ball is the decipher between a point.
Yeah.
And although that may seem small and insignificant in this first part of the third set, for Lindenwood, every point counts. So it's important. It's important to Koscheff to check and make sure, and they feel confident about that. I mean, the Lions were all waving up, calling for the tip on the court just before the challenge was called.
Tell you what, from our perspective, it seemed pretty cut and dry that there was a touch. It's the room where it happens, if you want a Hamilton reference. You don't get a whole lot of knowledge of what actually happens down there at the scorers table between the down ref and our crew down there. But there's something goes on, and something is made. They've got a lot more camera angles than we do. And we'll see what the officiating crew thinks. And hey, I'm over 1, Bella, to start the season. I think last year I was in the 70s.
Okay.
And by 70s, I mean 70% of my calls were incorrect.
Okay.
So I am hoping to have a better season. And I'm going to be honest, I still think I was right. But who knows?
Okay. I'm supporting you.
You backing me up, thank you. Palmer. Slight goes this time to Gianni. But here's the thing, that's a big call. I mean, you're looking at either this game being tied in this third set, Lindenwood hanging on to some confidence against a tough team, or the Lopes to 3-1 and now to 4-1. It's a big call. The Lions will say they missed that one. Awkward positioning.
Service ace.
And a service ace from Cameron Thorne.
Cameron Thorne to serve.
Lopes now playing with a little more passion, and they're playing like the Lopes of last year. And you also wonder, how does things look a little different? How do you approach a matchup when you know you're playing a team twice in a weekend? Sheehan, and that's one of those awkward situations where Wardlow, Gianni, Palmer all go up. The ball hits one of them, and they say, oh, where'd the ball go? And unfortunately, none of them could locate it. AJ Lewis. Rocking the gold chain. One of the only college sports where you can rock jewelry. Usually you can't because it becomes a safety hazard. You don't want to go up for a dunk in basketball, run into somebody, and accidentally get your hand stuck on a chain or a bracelet or something. But in volleyball, there's no contact. You don't play against the other team on the same side of the floor. So I guess the only danger that possesses is if you run into your own teammate. And if you're running into your own teammate on the floor, you got bigger issues.
That's true.
Gianni. Herndon with a good hustle, but can't quite get there. So an up and down this time for Stenmark. Rashawn Bonner now checks in. He provided a lot of help for them, the Lions, that is, in that first set. Palmer into the block and down. Palmer now to serve again. 7-3 is your score. Sheehan, Bonner, picking up where he left off in that first set. Picks up a quick kill.
The Lions are still hanging on here in this third set.
Slight to Wardlow. Perfect combination, man. You can tell they've been playing with each other for a while. The timing is just excellent. And the Lopes extend their lead back to 4. Wardlow to serve after the kill. Sheehan to Lewis from the back row, blocked excellently, and then blocked again. I'm not sure Hickman was ready for it. Weedle blocked again. It's a block party. Weedle once more. Gianni controls this one. Thorne, oh man. That's another one of those moments where you're just thinking, why would I overthink it? I'm at that point, I might as well just poke it over.
And it's just, again, it comes down to game knowledge. I mean, they were prepared for every single hit on that one. Excellent defense on the Lope side.
That one tips off the hands of Rashawn Bonner and out after a great play from Cameron Thorne. Wardlow, he's been serving it slow all night, but finally put some heat on it. 9-5. Clay Weeder now to serve. Into the net from Weeder. Slight puts his hands up in the air, doing the old Jordan shrug and saying, hey, if we're going to get our points that way, I'm totally fine with that. Slight rocking his patented number 7. Right at Weeder. Sheehan. Lewis. perfect 1-2-3 punch. But they're not going to get the tip, and it landed out of bounds. So the Lopes are going to pick that up 11-5 now.
Coming in for the Lions, number 10, Cole Schuler.
Slight. Sheehan for side ball to Lewis. Slight is there. Herndon goes to Gianni. Perfection from CG. But instead, I believe we're going to have either a net violation or a... Yeah, they will call that on Gianni. Not something he struggles with very often. But, I mean, definitely into the net right there. Tell you what, I tried playing co-ed volleyball intramurals last year. Wow, it is hard to not go into the net when you were hitting. Perfect block right there from Caden Warner. AJ Lewis is right next to him as well. But genuinely, that's one of the aspects of volleyball that's underappreciated. The ability to be flying at the net and then stop your momentum right there. I mean, I couldn't do it, and I'm a world-class athlete. So if you look at guys, I mean, it's incredibly impressive what they're able to do. Near side ball, Gianni, well done.
You just think of the power that goes into those hits that they generate. It is going to be really hard to stop there at the net. But Camden adjusts, he sees it, and he's able to kind of hold back and still get that point and perform an excellent kill.
Perfect from Gianni. Finds the open space. And sends it down.
Just love how Gianni just slowed down the game in that moment. I mean, he saw the ball, he recognized that open spot, and just sort of slid it in there. Nothing fancy, nothing crazy, just simple textbook play.
That one right at the legs of Cooper Herndon. He can't deal with it. Connor Sheehan now heads back to serve. Slight for side. Gianni off the block. Good control from the Lions, and Lewis sends it down. 3 in a row for Lindenwood now.
Those are some strong hits coming from the Lions side.
Slight. Palmer, well done. Jack Palmer stepping into a much bigger role this season. And you have to. I mean, you look at the DNA of this team the last couple of years, and one of the key characteristics of these squads have always been Christian Janke. Wow, what a block that is from Gianni. Stenmark. Oh, the Lopes can't quite corral it. But it becomes a different element when you take a player like Janke, who was so consistent for so many years, and kind of turn your world on its head when you get rid of a guy like that. And other players have to step in the new roles and be big. And Jack Palmer, the 6'8" outside hitter from Encinitas, California, out of La Costa Canyon, previously at BYU. It makes you think a little bit. Hey, we got to find a new player to step into that role, and Jack Palmer's doing just that through these first 3 games. Too much from Lewis. 15-0, and that is our immediate timeout. So we will take a quick break and be right back here with the rest of set number 3.
After having such a win in the last set, and you know, still a nice deficit that they have right now.
But what else can you hope for, too? I mean, it's not a negative thing. It's these people are competitors. They want to come out and get the job done, especially in a game like this so early in their season. Lindenwood hasn't played a volleyball match in over 8 months. So obviously they're going to come out and want to play hard and get their first, start their season off with a victory.
And I mean, they did in that first set too, and I'm sure that is even more of a fire me up moment.
Too much for Caden Warner. who's still having a great game. I will say, though, for someone with his height, you expect to see a little more on the defensive end. No blocks tonight from Caden Warner. He's got 7 kills, though, doing his job. Palmer into the net. 16-12.
Carter Stenmark to serve.
Stenmark now to serve. Woo, what a dig that is from Herndon. Hickman, perfect from GCU. Herndon is there to dig it up. Slight is there to dish it up. And Hickman is there to send it down. Perfect execution.
Coming into the Lopes, number 22, Jordan Lucas.
Jordan Lucas for the 4th time tonight
Jordan Lucas.
enters the match. We only saw Carter Rogers once. Volleyball is such an interesting sport when it comes to subbing, different rotations, and things like that, because you can have a player like Carter Rogers, who is a fantastic volleyball player, who might not touch the court that much because they just don't need him. And somehow the Lopes keep it up. And then Jackson Hickman puts a little bit too much on it. But when I say they don't need him, I don't necessarily mean Carter in specifics, but they could, you know, replace and exchange any of those players. You bring Carter in, you throw Gianni to the bench. Now Gianni is, you know, amazing, probably a top 10, whatever you want to call it, volleyball player in the country. So, but this Lopes team, you're very happy with the amount of talent you have on this roster, and that's just pretty. It's a deke from Cameron Thorne. AJ Lewis slips, can't deal with it.
Well, and all that to say, Houston, as well, is that there's just so much depth in this roster of the Lopes team. And, I mean, you see it, and you're able to set people out. You're able to add in some high-quality players into that.
Something going on the
shoes
bench, I believe. Yeah, AJ Lewis. Let me give you a breakdown of what's happening right here. AJ Lewis blew out his shoe. This is a Zion Williamson Duke freshman year moment. He broke something happened with his shoe and it broke, and so he's talking to the guys on the bench and saying, hey, I wear size 13. I believe I saw a 1 and a 3. I need to exchange my shoe. Somebody on the bench that's not touching the floor tonight, give me your shoe. And he found one. And we can get volleyball back underway here in Phoenix.
That was quite the Cinderella story. I mean, lost a shoe, got a new one, and is back ready to play on the court now.
We'll see if a prince shows up at any point tonight.
I mean.
Lewis. Slight. Oh, my goodness. I no clue what just happened right there. Jackson Hickman, a little bit too close to the net. Possibly some frustration. Regardless, 18-14. Rashawn Bonner will check out as Charlie Podgordny comes in to serve it up for the Lions. Cameron Thorne, I mean, woo! That is a highlight if I've ever seen one. I mean, prepare for liftoff from Cameron. I think he jumped about 5 seconds before that ball was even set. Just glides in the air and finds that 6 zone. It's perfect execution from Cameron Thorne. Jackson Hickman now with a 5-point advantage. Into the net and down. Slight pokes it into the Havoc student section. Somebody will go home with a free ball. Either that or they have to give it up to some security guards. Not sure they're going to be walking away with any of these red, white, and blue patented balls. Slight. Gianni still alive. Well, I said a second ago, Caden Warner doesn't have any blocks. He picks up a pair of them right there, but none of them that find the bottom of the floor. So 20-15 now. Lopes extending their advantage. That ball into the antenna. 20-16. Herndon in, Thorne out.
Been noticing kind of a bit of an increase on the service errors on the Lopes side. In comparison, the Lions have 16 service errors, and that was the 8th service error for the Lopes. So quite a difference here.
Slight to Gianni. Timing was a little off, so he just hit that one. And if you're the Lions, this is go time. You've cut it to 3 after trailing the entire set. You now have an opportunity to pull within 1 or 2 and put in some real work here. AJ with a good serve, controlled by Palmer. Up and down to Wardlow. Perfect job from Rico. Gianni back once more. 13 kills on the night. Only gotten to 4 sets once this year, so Gianni might be able to set his record for the season at least. Service ace. His 4th of the night. Cole Schuler had a little date with danger right there too as he jumped over the bracket into some danger. 20, and we will take one more quick break. 22-7. What a serve from Camden Gianni. The speed, impressive, tough to deal with.
I mean, can we talk about Camden Gianni here? Service aces, there haven't honestly been a lot of those this game. And him having 2 in a row just now, out of a timeout.
Gianni, that's what you get from him, though. He serves aggressively. You're going to have service errors every once in a while. Caden Warner now at 23-18. Herndon keeps it alive. Palmer goes far side from the back row. Gianni right at Lewis. Tell you what, Lewis thinks he kept that ball up. Check the replay. This is the 2nd challenge of the night, the last one for Coach Koscheck. They didn't get that first one. We will see if they can get it right here.
I mean, AJ Lewis just so strong in that decision, already just pointing to the replay side, asking for the replay because he was so sure. What do you think, Houston?
I'm gonna have to get another look at it. Initially, I thought it hit the ground, but it looks like for sure it touched the ground. We'll see that again.
I don't know,
no, not at all. From that initial quick viewpoint, it looked like it hit his arm and then went off the ground, deflected. But from that right there, no, that's a fantastic play from AJ Lewis. That ball's up, no doubt. Great challenge that time from Lindenwood. It's up, so we will have a replay. So 23-18, the score goes back to it. Caden Warner will get another chance at it. Slight, little campfire. All the Lindenwood Lions poking around, making some marshmallows. Perfect play from Nick Slight. First time entering tonight's matchup is Jared Anderson, grad student out of previously Springfield College. 6'5" opposite, gets a chance to serve here and close things out in this 3rd set and send us to a 4th. The southpaw. Sheehan, Bonner, it's out. And he does check in. and get the point. 25-18 goes set number 3, and the Lopes get things done. They've got one more to the Lopes. Service error to start this first point of the fourth set. Cameron Thorne now to get things going. Off the block and down, 1-1. Service from Lewis. All right, at Herndon, far side. Palmer, well done.
I mean, what an excellent job by Palmer and Slide. I mean, it's that setter-hitter connection that allows for those quick snap hits and kills, ultimately.
Gianni into the net. 2-2 now, your score. The Lopes certainly, or the Lions, I should say, not out of this yet. They find a way to put together a set like that first set, they'll be all right. Slight slide ball, Wardlow. We haven't seen a whole lot of the slide tonight, but perfectly executed that time. Well done, 3-2 now. Palmer now, who's had a great night as well. Hickman. Lewis, what a dig that is. Schuler all the way over to Wardlow. Slight far side, Hickman up and down. A great dig is turned around into a great kill for the Lopes. Palmer now to serve again, 4-2 here. Not quite the serve he was looking for there, and it's into the net. That one into the net, so they trade service errors. That one off the block and down, 5-4 now. This is a moment where GCU can try and develop some consistency as Lindenwood tries to just stay in the game. Schuler. Slight far side, Hickman. Can Schuler get there? What a play that is. That was actually Ian Schuler, both the brothers on the floor. Schuler can't quite get to that one. Too much from that one. 6-5 now. Bonner straight at Herndon. Slight to Hickman, set down. What a play that is from Caden Warner. And just like that, we're knotted at 6 apiece. Lions would love to take this to a 5th set, give them some confidence going into Sunday. And the Lions and Lopes will face off once more at 12 o'clock. Bonner, Hickman controls, slight. Gianni, too much. Not going to get a touch either, so 7-6, and now the Lions are doing some talking. That is the benefit of winning the first set. Even if you drop 2 and 3, you still only need 1 to tie things up. Side out to the Antelopes, 7-7 now.
Yeah, Houston, I mean, it's anybody's game, and every point does truly count, and so it's important to have your mentally strong game throughout the entirety of the game being played.
Jackson Hickman can't quite get to that one after another great kill from A.J. Lewis. And it's 8-7 now. Serve coming from Sheehan. Slight back row attack of Hickman, well done. Things are tied back up at 8. Cameron Thorne now.
Last time these two teams faced off, the Lopes swept them 3-0 and beat them 3-1. So if the Lions can squeak another set by, make this a little bit more interesting of a game.
I mean, things can definitely turn around quickly in this matchup if the Lions can find a way to sneak out this 4th set. Serve from Lewis. Fortunately for him, we've seen a lot of that tonight. We've seen a lot of great serves from him as well, but a lot of the great ones come with a lot of errors as well. It's that give and take, that risk you run. Similar with Gianni. 9-10 now, Lindenwood takes back the advantage. Hickman, slight, up and down to Wardlow, well done. 10-10. Perfect execution from Wardlow.
Just such power and strength in that middle position.
Bonner. They don't get a touch, and he wasn't able to paint the tape on that near side, so 11-10 goes the score. Palmer, way too much. 11-11. Lopes will be wishing to be up by that 15-point media break. Serve coming from Schuler. Herndon is there. Slight to Wardlow. Tell you what, they can't go to it too much because they got to continue to switch things up and keep Lindenwood on their toes, but that percentage from Slight to Wardlow right at the net in that MB spot has got to be incredibly high. I mean, there's a reason Wardlow set the program record last year for hitting percentage. That one controlled by Schroberl. And now 12-12. This is a back and forth cat and mouse type matchup in this 4th set. If you're just joining us, Lindenwood looked really good in that first set, and then it was pretty much domination in sets 2 and 3 from the Antelopes, and now Lindenwood showing everything they've got in this 4th set. 13-12. Service errors are growing as these players are getting tired and their technique is betraying them. Schuler. Slight to Gianni. Still alive. Oh my goodness. Palmer somehow still alive. Sheehan to Schuler. Herndon is there, but he could not control it. 13-13.
Schuler came swinging from that back row with just such power that even though Herndon was there, it just was unreturnable.
Thorne, well done. Slight. It doesn't matter if it's Wardlow or Slight or whoever it is, he's finding a way to make things happen. Sheehan near side ball to Lewis. And off the block and down. And since the 9-9 mark, it has literally been each team picking up a point and then the other. It's been 10-9, 10-10, 11-10, 11-11, back and forth, and now we're all knotted at 14. Slight to Thorne. Oh, I'll tell you what, that one had so much power on it. It was really close. But Lindenwood's pretty confident that it was out. But now GCU is going to use the challenge. They'll use this opportunity for a timeout anyway. After this is determined, it'll take us to our media timeout anyway. Matt Worley in his 9th season, after being 9-11 in 2021, then moving to 16-12, and then last year to 22-8. The Lopes have just shown improvement year after year after year. And they're looking, I mean, it's tough to improve upon 22-8. That's a fantastic year. But they'd love to get to that 25 win mark this season. Here's a chance to look at that last play. We'll slow it down right here. I'll get a chance to.
Initially, it looks in to me.
We unfortunately can't really see the line, but it's not going to matter because that will give the Lopes the 15-4 to find a way to finish things out in this 4th and not extend it to a 5th. I mean, not only for rest reasons, but also just for confidence. Far side ball to Lewis, tipped off the block. Slight to Wardlow. I said they needed to keep going to it, and when they have, it's worked really well, and it works again right there. Wardlow, I mean, he's trying to break his record from last year because right now he's hitting a .9.
Oh my goodness.
9 attempts, or excuse me, 11 attempts, 9 kills. Pretty good percentage. Far side ball, Lewis. Oh, that ball just kind of dipped down. You saw Hickman, Wardlow, Thorne all had an opportunity to go after it, but totally thought that one had too much on it. With the wind under its sails, said goodbye, and it dropped. 16-15 now. Lopes still with that 1-point advantage.
And I mean, that speaks to the veteran, A.J. Lewis, and how wise he is to put that spin on the ball so it just drops.
Lewis into the net. Here comes a serve from Gianni. There's not many other people you would want behind the service line in this situation. It's a good one, but it's controlled well. Lewis from the back row. Herndon, are you kidding me? Staying on his feet like that? Palmer looking for the 1. Schuler. Oh, and Hickman can't quite get there, but it is a net violation anyway. 18-15, Lopes up 3, their biggest lead of this 4th set. It's been back and forth until this very moment. Lopes pulling away. Can they get the job done? Hickman. Slight. Sent straight over, but I believe we are going to have they're going to say either Slight sort of threw that ball down as opposed to poking it over, or a net violation. Couldn't quite see the call, but that's a big call because it's 18-16, and instead of the lead being 4 for the Antelopes, it's just 2. Serve coming from the other Schuler. Back row from Hickman, well done. 19-16, the lead extends. Caden Warner, who's been the player of the night so far for Lindenwood, checks in. I mean, it's between him and Lewis. Lewis has 13 kills, hitting above a .4, but he's also done everything else. He's got 3 digs, 3 blocks, an ace. And on the other side of things, Camden Gianni, what can this kid not do? 4 service aces, 6 digs, a block, and 13 kills. Can you say player of the game watch, Bella?
Oh my goodness. Just the 4 service aces alone.
Gianni can't get to that one, but it was out anyway. 20-16 goes the lead as we approach closer and closer to a Lopes victory and a 4-0 start to the 2024 campaign. There's our fellow photographer, Jaden, back there as well. We got a whole crew here in the arena putting in work. Herndon, speaking of putting in work. Oh, Hickman, a little bit too much. He overthought it. He had about as much room as possible in zones 1 and 6 and just a little bit too much on it. Jared Anderson goes out. Hickman checks, Palmer checks back in. Schuler to serve, into the net. 21-17, the lead is back to 4. Near side ball, Schuler. Slight and Thorne are both there, but they couldn't find a way to send it down. Cole Schuler now to serve. Slight. Palmer looking for the back corner, too much. And just like that, it's 21-19. And Lindenwood is within 2.
This set a little bit closer than the last few that the Lopes have won. Lopes need to make sure to keep everything tight and strong, both offensively and defensively.
Far side to Hickman, perfect execution. Lopes back up 3. Set down, I believe. Nope. Somehow, Rashawn Bonner found a way to get that on the other side of the floor. 22-20, and right after that big play, he'll check out. Clay Weeder in a big moment to serve. Herndon is there. Thorne almost gets there, but it's a lead that is cut now just to 1.
It's definitely a tight game we've got here, or a tight set, if you will.
I mean, Lopes were just up 4, and all of a sudden Lindenwood says, we're not quite ready to go home yet. Lopes not quite out of the woods. The Lions approaching. Slight. Gianni off the block. They need this one bad. Slight to Gianni again. Off the block, and it's out. That's a big point, the biggest point of the night. Lopes up 23-21. Hickman 2 points away from finishing out this first game of this just 2-game homestand before they hit the road again. Hickman a good serve. Sheehan to Lewis, tip off the block. Herndon is there, big opportunity for GCU. Gianni, tip off the block, well done. Set point, match point, timeout. Coach Joe Koskick needs a moment. 24-21. Conference Carolinas, EIVA, MIVA, and the MPSF. And the Lopes hoping to be that one team out of that conference. Lewis, too much, and the Lopes get things done in 4 sets. 25-21. Lopes kick off their 2-game homestand in fashion. 25-21 goes the 4th set.